Hi, I'm Kevin Tame, and welcome to the Hacktivist. Today I'm commenting over the SOCR 4 Round 5, and SOCR stands for the StimHack Online Cash Refresh Tournament. This was round number 5, so this is a little dated. The tournament has been more into the cut and whatnot, but YankeeFlatline and CritHitd20 had a great match, and I wanted to comment on it and share my thoughts about the match. So yeah, I'm posting it here. Let's jump right in. Okay, so YankeeFlatline is on ASA Group, and CritHitd20 is on Kit. I believe he's on the Inversificator kit, which is great because he's able to, move his ice around when the servers get big and put the ice there where he wants. The nice thing about these ASA Group decks is that they're able to, install calibration testing and then install a agenda and score. They're also able to build these really big remotes, which makes it is taxing for the runner. Specifically in Cash Refresh, the icebreakers, specifically Inti, might be the best fractor, and it's bad with high strength ice. So typically you'll see Inti with dedicated processor, which is in itself a little clunky because you have to set it up. Seeing the two Vitruviuses here for critical hit was great. Puts YankeeFlatline in a bad place because one of the strategies with these glacier type decks is you want to tax the runner out, and you can't. It makes it almost impossible to tax them out now because if you go install advance, they know it's a 3-pointer. It's most likely a 3-pointer, and you have to run in and go contest this. At this time, I believe NGO wasn't available, so it wasn't as big of a threat. This is a little bit of an awkward draw for YankeeFlatline to see the global food. Puts him in a position where he can't, he needs to install it on his second click. But it's okay, I think, in this instance because critical hit is not set up where he doesn't have his Inti out, his dedicated processor, so he's not in a place where he can really contest. Whoa! And then seeing another agenda just really hurts YankeeFlatline here because now he can hit any type of agenda, and he can go for broke in this server. So YankeeFlatline needs to kind of start doing is setting up, Inversificator and Inti so that he can start contesting this server 1. If he gets too far behind, like with his money or doesn't have his rig set up, then it opens up an opportunity for YankeeFlatline to kind of score quickly. But it doesn't look like it's really happening. He has some Fems. He has Test Run, which he's able to, scavenge and then bring, Test Run and then scavenge Inversificator. So he's now, and then he has a Fem, so he's pretty much set up. And he's going to just, go for some single accesses off of R&D. Force YankeeFlatline to maybe res some ice. And then he trashes the MCA, and trashing the MCA is really great because this now makes it so Yankee can't, he has 2 MCAs in archives that he can't use to score out these 5-3s. Here he gets another global food that he pulls off of the ultraviolet clearance, and it takes him 2 turns to obviously try and score it. And critical hit is just checking to force him to res ice, and it makes him poor. And yeah, it's just a little bit of a Yankee is so far on his back foot, it's kind of hard for him to recover. And now Greg, who is critical hit, has a great opportunity to come in here and contest this. So there is an upgrade, so he needs to make sure he has the money, and he's also probably thinking it could be Strongbox. So if he has that, he needs to make sure that he has a click available. The other thing is Ikawa is pretty popular in Cash Refresh, so he wants to make sure he has a click as well there. But since he's on 6 points, he can go for broke and it won't hurt him too much. the worst case scenario is it could be, you know, a project June bug or something, or cerebral overrider, which it's unlikely that it is. And so I think it's just, I think he's pretty safe. He's just like, do I have the money to get in is what it comes down to. And the other thing too is rezzing this ice for YankeeFlatline makes him pretty poor. So even if you come in and force him to res ice, it makes it so that he can't really score the next turn. It actually puts him in a bad position. So it's his advantage for critical hit to put the pressure and try and come into this remote. He either wins the game or he forces Yankee to go really poor, keeping him out. He doesn't have the money to trash this, and he wants to make sure he has the clicks just in case. So he goes ahead and lets all the subs fire. If he didn't, critical hit's probably thinking, if I don't win here, then it's a long way for me to kind of get set back up. YankeeFlatline was actually about a credit short because, you know, rezzing the Ichi, well, that's not true because he had femmed that inner ice, so it doesn't really matter. Really great match by both players. Yankee was just such on his back foot because he didn't have an opportunity to be able to tax Greg out by sending him through the server one lots of times. So let's jump into that next match. Okay, so what we got here is YankeeFlatline is on Ayla and Critical Hit is on Building a Better World. I believe what Greg is trying to do here is he is, you know, trying to rush out behind ice, but then also I believe he has a punitive, so he's going to try and maintain a credit advantage and then kill him when he can. The really interesting thing about YankeeFlatline's deck is one thing I really like is he uses battering ram and inside job. So the problem in cache refresh is currently a lot of the fractors aren't amazing, and so you can get taxed out from these big servers that have high strength and the run ice, and battering ram actually does a pretty decent job dealing with those. On NVRAM, we see that he has inside job, so that's a really great opportunity when he wants to go in and just swipe an agenda. He's able to go in and steal it real quick. I'm actually a little surprised he didn't come in and try and get this server one. Maybe he thought it was like a Grindel refinery or something like that. But getting the counter here for Greg, Critical Hit, is really strong because he can pull in that hostile takeover when he's, on 6 points to win the game. This is a situation where it's interesting that Greg didn't try and pump the trace on Paper Trail more, because if he had done that, he would have, potentially been able to get rid of some of these connections, specifically like professional contacts, which would really slow Greg down. So this is an interesting play right here that Greg goes ahead and installs, because he had a Gordian on the table, and I think this is actually a misplay on Greg's part. It was probably better for him not to try and jam that Atlas, because he was able to get in. It looks like maybe he was trying to just bait out the Hunter Seeker, which is good, but what ends up happening is he had Gordian Blade on NVRAM, so he was able to just pull it right back out and install it. So the tempo hit is like basically two clicks and 4 credits. I mean, that's kind of not what you want for Hunter Seeker. You want the tempo hit for Hunter Seeker to be a lot more than that. So yeah, so Greg is kind of in a position where what he wants to do is maybe get this MCA to help him score this graft. But it's likely what's going to happen is YankeeFlatline is going to come in and deal with that. Yankee's probably feeling like, oh, let me see if I can close this game out with indexing and mad dash. So that's what he does. He has the credits to be able to get in, and if he sees a 2-pointer, he closes the game out. Yep, and so there's the game. Yeah, so I think that was a little bit of a misplay on Greg's part to put the Atlas. I think what he was trying to do is he was trying to get him to steal it so that he could trash the Gordian Blade, but it didn't really affect YankeeFlatline that much. Anyways, great matches. These are the 2 top tables, and they both played really well and just really fast, and just didn't. I think there's a little bit of luck on the runner side there in the first match. Greg seeing all of those agendas, and then for James here, he played really well just with his inside jobs and stuff, and just kind of kept the pressure up, and Greg was never able to recover. Well, thanks so much for watching the match, and if you like this or want to see more videos like this, comment and let me know, and subscribe. Thanks. Have a great rest of your day.